Hi, my name's Cameron Jacobs. I've been with Blue Ox about 8 years. I've been on the training team about 5 years, and today we're going to give you some tips and tricks and a little overview on the Blue Ox products.
Hi, my name is Rick Cower. I've been with Blue Ox for 15 years, and we're going to give you the basics of flat towing a vehicle behind a motorhome today.
A lot of folks wonder, what is flat towing? And so when we talk about flat tow, what we mean is all 4 tires of your dinghy vehicle are on the ground, and therefore there is no vertical load on the receiver or rear end of your motorhome. It's just your horizontal tow capacity. When folks first get started out in flat towing, it seems like there are a lot of steps to getting hooked up and getting into a tow mode. But what most people find is that once you actually understand the different steps, it becomes much, much simpler. It's not complicated to do, and it's very easy to get your vehicle into flat tow mode. Flat towing is actually the easiest, the preferred method of towing a vehicle behind your motorhome. A lot of folks wonder, why is it that I would prefer to flat tow over something like using a trailer or even a 2-wheel dolly? A lot of times with a tow dolly or with a trailer, it can be cumbersome and awkward to find a place to stow it once you get to a campsite. And so the flat towing is by far the preferred method of towing a vehicle behind your motorhome. It's also nice if we compare that to the tow dolly. With a tow dolly, you're actually going to elevate 2 of the tires, the front tires, and then you're going to have a little bit of abnormal wear on the tires and the suspension.
Is any vehicle flat towable? In fact, they're not. There's variables to the transmissions that are put in some of the vehicles. Even in some of the 4-wheel drive models, they can't be flat towed due to circumstances in the drivetrain. So you really need to dig in and know before you purchase a car or your current vehicle that you have, whether that vehicle is flat towable or not. Another question that we frequently get is hybrid vehicles and whether they're flat towable. In fact, there are quite a few hybrid vehicles in the market that are flat towable, and we have a lot of consumers that happily, easily pull those down the road behind their motorhome. Am I going to put miles on my car as it's being towed down the road? In some instances, yes, and in some instances, no. It depends on the year, make, and model of the vehicle.
People wonder, is flat towing going to be hard on their vehicle? Absolutely not. You're going to get a little bit of the typical wear on your tires that you otherwise would in a normal driving situation, and it's not going to do anything more. When it comes to the most common vehicles that are flat towed, certainly Jeep is by far the most popular, but all sorts of vehicles can be flat towed, from your big 3/4 ton, 1 ton pickups down to your smaller sedans and little hybrids. We have the whole spectrum and everything in between of vehicles that are commonly flat towed.
The class of the motorhome, A, B, C, Super C, will determine the capacity that you can tow behind it. We recommend that you refer to the owner's manual to do your discovery and know what you can take with you.
We do have a lot of customers that want to do the installation of a flat tow setup on their own, and that's just fine. They can do that. But for most of our customers, we do encourage you to use blueox.com and use our dealer locator. That'll filter a lot of the dealers in your area that are qualified to do a flat tow setup on your vehicle. If you're looking at getting into flat towing, use the dealer locator on blueox.com to find a dealer in your area that is stocking and supplying our products and is also capable and prepared to do installation of things like those base plates, the wiring system, the braking system. They're going to be your best resource for getting a flat tow setup. When it comes to the different classes of motorhomes, we typically hear Class A, B, and C. But to break that down a little bit, your Class A's are typically going to be your biggest, your most comfortable, or most luxurious. Your Class B's are going to be the smaller Sprinter van style, camper van style. And then your Class C is more or less a combination of the two. The simple way to think about it is, the bigger the motorhome, the more tow capacity you're going to have. But always check with your manufacturer and with your owner's manual to verify the actual tow package of that motorhome.
Today, we're going to talk about the components that are needed to flat tow a vehicle behind a motorhome. We have been building base plates for a lot of years and also offering the removable tab feature. So this is going to give you a good, clean, cosmetic look to the front of your vehicle when you're not flat towing it in your normal everyday driving. So there's 3 different tabs that you could possibly have on your base plate. To determine your tab, you can reach out to our customer care team. They will just need to know your make and model of that vehicle, and they'll get you the correct tab. So for instance, we have a short front, short back tab. We have a short front, long back tab, and we have a long back, long front tab. So those are going to be the three options for the base plates that are on your vehicle. This is important. Why? In case you would ever misplace or lose a tab, you can get replacements. They're sold in pairs. And again, reach out to the customer care team at Blue Ox. They'll be able to assist you with finding the correct product. What's in front of me is our Avail tow bar, which is our #1 selling tow bar at Blue Ox. It is rated to 10,000 pounds of tow capacity, and it comes with the safety cables included in the box. The reason for the 10,000 pound capacity is it gives the customer the flexibility of different weights of vehicles, so as you trade cars, you're not having to buy a new tow bar down the road. As you can see, we have a new paint color on the Avail, which will be available later this year. It's not our traditional brown tow bar, but we have the new TTX E-Coat paint on this tow bar for longevity and durability. Some key features to the tow bar that Blue Ox is known for is strength, and again, that durability piece. And we have our patented non-binding latches, which makes it easy to disconnect. So that is going to be this piece here. We have our rubber boot over our inner leg, so when this tow bar is extended, we're covering that inner leg, protecting it from getting road grime, different things like that as you travel down the road. And then we have our triple lug out here on the end. That triple lug ties into the removable tab on the front of your vehicle. That gives you a good solid connection, because when you tow your car down the road, that thing likes to walk around a little bit behind you. That will not damage the triple lug or the tabs on the front of the vehicle. So Blue Ox, known for its strength, longevity, durability. But I need to talk to you about another piece, and that is the maintenance on a tow bar. Just like changing your oil in your car as you own a vehicle, there's maintenance that needs to be done to the tow bar. We recommend every 2 years or 10,000 miles that you have a maintenance done on your tow bar. That can be done at our factory in Penner, Nebraska, or we attend many rallies throughout the course of a year. And now we started introducing dealers into doing maintenance for you as their consumer. So all you have to do is go to blueox.com, go to the dealer locator. You can choose that tow bar maintenance, and it will give you the dealers that are in your area. As I discussed the warranty of 3 years on the tow bar, it's really important to know that you need to register that tow bar for its warranty. The dealer will give you a little owner's packet that's going to have the instructions of that tow bar, and that is going to look like this. It is wrapped in plastic. It has the serial number printed at the top of it. Go to blueox.com to register this tow bar to start your warranty. The serial number again is printed at the very top. And for ease of registration, on your tow bar we have a QR code. You can scan that with your smartphone. Just turn your camera on. Make sure your QR code reader is on. You can scan that. That will take you right to the registration spot on our website to get your tow bar registered for warranty. And back to the maintenance portion of our tow bar. There's joints in the tow bar because the legs spread and open up. And what I mean by that is in this position, we put nylon washers in all of the joints. Those are designed to wear. We don't want you taking this tow bar down to steel on steel. As those washers wear within that 2 years or 10,000 mile mark, they need to be replaced. So that's the beginning of the maintenance. Inside of this swivel joint, there is split bushings that need to be replaced at that 10,000 mile mark. And then out here, as we extend the legs out, this rubber boot is removed, the grease is cleaned off, we lubricate the inside of our leg so that it moves in and out smoothly. And then out at the triple lug here, we have those same nylon washers here, which are designed to wear. So it's really important that you take the time and get your tow bar maintenance. We want this thing to last you as long as possible. It's a big investment, but so is your coach and so is the vehicle that you're towing behind it. Included in your box with your tow bar purchase is a pair of 10,000 pound safety cables. These go between the motorhome and your tow vehicle In case you would get into an accident, this is going to keep everything attached together. Just make sure that if you would drag a safety cable or something of that nature, that you replace that safety cable. We don't want any exposed steel because they deteriorate from the inside out if they're exposed to the elements. When choosing a tow bar to flat tow your vehicle behind your motorhome, make sure that you're looking at the gross vehicle weight rating of that particular vehicle, not the curb weight. The curb weight only includes a full tank of fuel and oil. Make sure that you look at those numbers so you have a sufficient amount of tow bar to tow that vehicle. At Blue Ox, we have a wide variety of tow bar sizes to meet your needs, ranging from 5,000 pounds all the way to 15,000 pounds of tow capacity. Look us up. We'll help you meet your needs. We have ball mount tow bars, pintle hook tow bars, receiver mount tow bars. We have a wide variety of the product that you're going to need to flat tow your vehicle behind your motorhome. The next component in flat towing is going to be the wiring kit to provide taillights on the back of your towed vehicle. And this just gets wired into your factory harness. We utilize the taillights on the back of your vehicle to give you running lights or taillights, turn signals, and brake lights. If you're in question about what taillight wiring kit is available for your vehicle, you can go to blueox.com, go to our Baseplate Finder, put your make and model of vehicle in. It will show you what wiring kit is required for that particular vehicle. Or if you need to talk to someone, call our customer care team. They'll be able to give you the answers that you need. How level does your tow bar need to be when you're towing your car behind your motorhome? At Blue Ox, we stated in the instructions that it's plus or minus 3 inches from being level, meaning 3 inches from one end of the tow bar to the other. We give you what the baseplate tab height is when you look up the baseplate on blueox.com. Then it's just a matter of measuring the receiver hitch on the back of the coach, subtracting the smaller number from the larger number. That will give you the rise drop that you need. Keep in mind, if you have a diesel coach, you need to start that coach and let the airbags fill before you take that measurement. So we have a couple of different options here. We have a 4-inch adjustable rise drop, and we have an 8-inch adjustable rise drop. These are going to be in class 3/4, meaning that they're rated to 10,000 pounds of capacity. We also have an 8-inch adjustable rise drop in a class 5. That one is going to be for our 15,000 pound tow bar. So it's making the right choice, knowing what you have, but this is going to get that tow bar level for you as you tow down the road. It's super important to know, make sure you're taking those measurements, you're getting the right product to meet the needs. In the past, we've always had fixed rise drop receivers to give you that plus or minus 3 inches of being level. This gives you the option of purchasing one piece that you can use for the rest of your life of towing a vehicle behind your motorhome. So with that, this is going to give you the adjustability, but we're also giving you an option for a bike rack. So this is going to be an additional receiver mouth that will attach to the 8-inch over here. That's going to allow you to put a bike rack in between your coach and your towed vehicle to be able to take those bikes with you. You'll find this product on blueox.com. Rise and drop. What does that mean? So your receiver hitch comes out of the back of your coach, and say you have a vehicle that's rather tall, the baseplate tabs are high off the ground, you're going to go in the up position. This is going to be the rise position on this 8-inch. If you have a situation where you have a low profile vehicle, this is going to give you the drop that you're going to need to achieve that plus or minus 3 inches from being level. The 8-inch is our biggest mover that we make, and that's because of its adaptability, adjustability, and the ability to add that bike rack in between your towed vehicle and your motorhome. The next component of flat towing that we're going to discuss is a supplemental brake system. And this is where everybody gets confused. Each state has a law, meaning that the weight of the vehicle, where it starts, where it stops. So we try to simplify that at Blue Ox. We really live by a 2 rule, and that is this. By having a supplemental brake system in your towed vehicle, you reduce the wear of the brakes on the coach, The second is you make the motorhome and the towed vehicle stop evenly together. Why is that important? Because we're eliminating that undue stress that happens to the tow bar if you don't have a brake system installed in your towed vehicle. So these are going to be all the components of the Patriot brake system. We have the brake in the box. We have the controller that goes up in the coach. We have a breakaway switch that will get installed on the front of the vehicle when your base plate is installed. And then some other accessories that come in the kit is some adjustable feet in case those are needed if you have an uneven well in the driver's foot area. And then there's a lanyard that comes with it that goes between the coach and the breakaway switch on the front of the vehicle. The Patriot brake system is simple to use. It's in and out of the vehicle. So you put it in when you're flat towing, you take it out when you're not. It is a very low amperage draw to the battery of the towed vehicle. So in comparison, this is an electric driven brake system. It draws 2 amps when it's under load. The air-driven brake systems, they draw somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 amps for each use. So very efficient brake. It's not going to kill the battery on your car as you travel down the road. The instructions that come with it will walk you through step by step, setting it up. If you would get any error codes, anything of that nature, they're all going to be listed in here. We also have our customer care team that you can reach out to at Blue Ox. They can take you step by step through anything that's happening with your brake system. The Patriot brake is a very lightweight brake, weighing 6.2 pounds. You can see I pick it up with ease. It has adjustability because your seat, your driver's seat is going to support this brake system. So it's adjustable in height on the backstop. So this can loosen the wing nut on the inside. This can flip around, it can go up, it can go down to give you whatever option you need to support that brake system so it's not moving around on the floorboard of your towed vehicle. The setup is on the top of the brake system, so the breakaway switch is going to plug in with a 3.5 millimeter jack right into the top of the brake here. You won't see any of this because it's going to be all installed on your vehicle, but that gets plugged in. You will hit the power button. We have a great feature built into this. So if you moved your seat too far forward and you're pushing on the brake pedal, it won't allow you to set that brake up. And the reason being is we don't want you dragging your brakes and damaging the brakes on your towed vehicle. So that is a feature that's built into the Patriot brake system as well. Then we have the controller that goes up into the motorhome. This is going to give you a visual of everything that's happening with that brake system as you travel down the road. You can set its gain, reduce its gain. You can even put that brake into a hybrid braking mode by the touch of a few buttons. This piece will go up in the coach. It's radio frequency range, so you have a lot longer range than what Bluetooth is going to offer. So very simple. And then the feet, these thread into the bottom of the brake system here, and that gives you adjustability for an uneven well in the driver's footboard area. And lastly, the last two things, we have a lanyard that goes between the breakaway switch on the front of the vehicle to the receiver hitch on the motorhome. And then we add additional clamps. We can't control every brake pedal that's out there in the market. They make all kinds of different brake pedals. These are to give you some option to attach or clamp to that brake pedal. So this is going to be the clamp scenario that you're going to see. This opens up. Once it's around your brake pedal, you push the button, that locks it on. That's in whole the Patriot brake system. Simple to use. It's portable, meaning that you can take it from the vehicle you're currently driving and have set up for flat towing to your new vehicle without having to incur the expense of that brake system. The Patriot brake system has a 2-year warranty. You will go to blueox.com to register that. And the question is where do you find the serial number to register your product? It's in 2 spots. It's printed on the back of the brake system itself. Okay, that's going to give you model number and the serial number of the brake. And then it's also on the box that the brake came in. The serial number is printed here. Make sure that you get this registered for its warranty on its start date. The next 2 components we're going to discuss for flat towing is going to be our battery charge line kit. Why is this important? This is going to keep your battery maintained or charged as you tow your vehicle down the road. Earlier, I discussed the Patriot brake system is going to draw some power from that battery. We don't want you to get into a situation where your car won't start, so this is vitally important. The other piece is going to be a battery disconnect. This isn't required on all vehicles, but for those that are, this gives you a manual disconnect under the hood. You would pop the hood of the car, turn the battery disconnect into the off position, and then you're good to go. Included in the kit is going to be the hardware to install that. All of these great products at blueox.com. The next thing is going to be our accessory kit. What's included in that kit? We have the tow bar cover to protect your tow bar. We don't want the UV rays fading your paint or deteriorating the rubber boots that are on the inner leg. We have the 7-to-6 coil cable. Why is this important? This is your umbilical cord between your coach and your towed vehicle. This is going to provide your lighting and also that charge line ability going to that towed vehicle. It has the 6-way plug that's included. This will get mounted on the front of the vehicle. It also has the hitch immobilizer in the kit. Why is this important? One of the biggest complaints that we get in flat towing is noise, and that is that tow bar banging around in the receiver hitch. So the hitch immobilizer is going to clamp that tow bar into the receiver hitch, quiet things down, eliminate movement, and prevent slotting from happening in your receiver hitch from the tow bar pushing in and out. And then lastly is going to be the 3-lock kit. What that gives you is security. You're locking the tow bar into the receiver hitch, and then you're locking the tow bar to the removable tabs on the front of the vehicle. All 3 locks are keyed alike, so you don't have to keep track of a bunch of keys. So just great options for you. You want to protect the investment that you've made in your flat tow setup. This is going to give you everything that you need. Next, we're going to cover the base plate that gets installed on the vehicle. This is a critical piece. It gets installed to the frame or the unibody of the vehicle. So the front end of your vehicle has to come off in order for that to be installed. We recommend that you have a professional installer do that work for you to ensure that it gets installed properly. So the components that we're talking about here is we have the base plate sockets that come out of the lower fascia on the vehicle. We have removable tabs that we're going to install momentarily on that, but I want to cover the other things that we have. We have a 6-way plug up here, which is going to provide the power to give us the lights on the back of the vehicle, a charge line, possibly wire in the Patriot brake into that. We have the breakaway switch installed here for the Patriot brake system. These are courtesy links that come through the fascia, and these are quick links that attach to that. And the reason we do those is to make it easy for you to hook your safety cables up when you're flat towing. So one thing I want to make clear to everybody today is that we are the only manufacturer in the marketplace that puts safety cables that install on the base plate and wrap the frame of the vehicle in that base plate kit. So important to know that. Why? If you were to get into an accident, everything is going to remain connected. No matter what the situation is, everything is going to remain connected. So to put the tabs in, you'll just grab the tab, stick it into the socket here. You'll get it to where you can push it in, roll it a quarter of a turn, it will lock into place. Now that side's ready to be flat towed with. We're going to do the same on the opposing side, and that's it. We're all ready to go. Now we just need to get the tow bar hooked up, safety cables, umbilical cord. We'll be ready to tow this car down the road momentarily.
We are now going to demonstrate a full hookup of your tow system. Before I get to the tow bars, I do want to show you what we've done already. So what we've got here, as you can see, we have the adjustable rise drop receiver, and just to reiterate, that is because with these tow bars, we want these tow bars riding as close to level as possible, plus or minus 3 inches. You can figure this part out in advance by comparing the receiver height on the back of your motorhome to the tab height of the base plate, which you can find when you're looking up that base plate on blueox.com. So we do have a little bit of a drop here. It's about a 2-inch drop here, just again, try to get those tow bars as level as possible. We've also mounted here our new mud flaps. Mud flaps always very popular with the truck accessory business, but more and more folks putting them on their motorhomes. So we do have some add-on options that are included with those mud flaps, where you've got the additional mesh guard. We also have an option for like a heat pass-through if you do have the rear exhaust and you don't want to burn up those mud flaps. You install that heat pass-through to make things a lot easier for you there. We also have the hitch immobilizer that is mounted between the rise drop receiver and the receiver itself. Basically, again, to isolate that any additional or excess play between the stinger and the receiver. And so next, we will go ahead and install this system. All right, we're now going to demonstrate a full hookup of the tow bars. I've already got my removable tabs. And before I hook up these tow bars, just as a little demonstration, you will see these tabs on top of the tow bars, or ears. Those ears are the stow mechanism for your tow bars when you're not towing. So when you want to put your tow bars away, you're just going to lift these bars straight up to parallel, and then you can lay them down either direction into your stow position, and that'll hold those tow bars in the stow position. I see a lot of times where folks try to take their tow bars and push them up all the way back against the back of the motorhome, but that is not how these are designed. We just want to get right up to vertical, and then again, we can lay down to either side. But so when we're going to do a hookup for the tow bars to the front of the vehicle, we want to bring that vehicle close enough where I can get the bars and this triple lug attached to the removable tab without having to fully lock out these arms. I want there to be some play still in this arm when I go to attach to that removable tab. As you're attaching that triple lug to the removable tab, you will see a sticker on the side with the arrow up. That's just letting you know the proper direction of that triple lug to face. And we have a little spring pin keeper here that holds your pin into the triple lug. It's important to note that you do have a lip side and a flat side, and when closing this, you always want to close towards the lip side so that it closes fully. If I try to flip it to the other side, that flat side, it doesn't close all the way, and that pin can then fall out. Okay, so we now have the tow bars attached, but they're not locked out yet. We're going to lock them out by using the motorhome, pulling it forward, doing a little bit of an S-curve in order to lock out these two arms, and we'll come back to that. Then the next piece we're going to do here, we're going to add that hitch immobilizer on to take out any excess play between the tow bar and the receiver there. And so here what we completed is that hitch immobilizer. Again, we like to use these. We encourage that you use these because anytime we put a stinger into a receiver, there has to be that tolerance or that little bit of wiggle room, but that little bit of wiggle room is inevitably a little bit of additional or surplus play when you're traveling down the road. And so with that hitch immobilizer, effectively what we're doing is we're just isolating that stinger to that receiver so that you don't have that excess play. It's going to stay really still and quiet and give you a smoother ride. Okay, we're now going to attach our safety cables and our power cable. I'm going to do the safety cables first. It's important with these safety cables, I'm already attached here on the motorhome side, but now with these safety cables, I want to remember two things. One, I want to run the safety cables and the power cable underneath the tow bars so that I'm not impacting the latches at all. And with the safety cables, I want to make sure that I crisscross them on the way back. So safety cables are going to crisscross, and then both safety cables and power cable are going to run underneath the tow bars. Okay, so we have our safety cables and our power cable attached, the last piece being our breakaway cable for the braking system. And we now have everything attached. Keep in mind, at this stage, I've had the vehicle with the parking brake on the entire time. It is not in neutral or flat tow mode yet, but now I can go ahead and do that process, get it into flat tow mode, and then when we start pulling this motorhome forward and doing that S-curve, that's what's gonna lock out these tow bar arms. You could see as we started pulling the motorhome forward, I had one latch that locked out right away. The other latch was partially depressed and did not come all the way back up. That does mean it is not yet fully locked out. It's only partially locked out. And so that's why we continue to pull forward a little bit more to get that second latch to come back up to that lockout position. All right, now we'll go through a quick disconnect process. Pop the pins, slide out the pins. Retract that arm. Again, with these tow bars, I'm just going to go up to vertical and then lay them down. And that's a stow position there for the tow bars. With my safety cables, my power cable, and my breakaway cable, I will take those off and stow them. And then when I'm not towing or when I'm parked, a tow bar cover is good for UV protection. One piece here we wanted to show you, this is our Kargard. So that's going to basically act as a very good defender for rocks and road grime that are flying up behind your motorhome, help protect your dinghy vehicle back here. It's very easy to use. Once you get the brackets mounted onto your triple lugs, to take the Kargard on and off is very simple. You have one pin on each side, Kargard pops off, and then you have one pin in the center, which you pull that pin and you can collapse it in half, and it's very easy to stow and very convenient to get on and off, and does a lot to help protect your investment.
Now we're going to go through the setup of the Patriot brake system, that supplemental brake that we talked about, and how important it is to have that installed to make the coach and the towed vehicle stop evenly together. I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts. I'll show you the wired power port that we put into the car to power that brake coming from the coach. And also the seat placement is really important for the brake system to operate. We don't want too much movement there, and we don't want the seat too far forward. As a matter of fact, that brake system won't set up if you put too much pressure on it, which I will demonstrate for you as we go through this tutorial. So first thing I'm going to do is get that clamp put onto the brake pedal, and that's really simple, folks. All you're going to do is open this clamp and it will hold itself open. It is spring loaded. So I'm going to come over the brake pedal like this, make sure that you capture that brake arm coming down in between the two jaws here. Once you get it into that position, you hit that top button, that spring load locks it onto the pedal. Now I'm going to provide the power to the brake system. So we install the power port up here inside. We're gonna plug that brake in. And you're gonna see that there's a red light that comes on that brake. That's telling us that we have power to the brake system, okay? So now it's a matter of getting this brake into position and setting it up. So the seat supports the Patriot brake. I'm going to move it forward until we're touching the brake system. Touching this adjustable pad on the back of the brake, I'm going to go ahead and power the brake up. It's going to give us a short stroke to tell us that we're good to go. So we get a green and a blue flashing light. That means the brake is all set. And then I'm going to plug the breakaway switch into the top of it. That's that 3.5 millimeter speaker jack cable. That's going to set that breakaway up front to operate in case you would come disconnected. So at this point, all we have to do is hit the setup button. It's going to stroke the pedal, retract from that stroke, and now that brake is ready to go. But there's some things that I want to show you. Really simple. I'm going to turn the power off on the brake, and I'm going to move this seat forward. I'll turn the power off, turn it back on, and I'm going to move this seat forward. Now I'm getting a red and blue light. When I hit the setup button here, that brake won't do anything. And the reason being is there's a sensor in there that senses pressure against that brake pedal. We don't want you dragging your brakes. So it's really simple to get out of that position. Just move your seat back, pull the brake back until you get the green and the blue flashing again. Hit the setup button. It strokes the pedal and relieves that vacuum pressure off the brake system. Now your brake is operational. That's really it. It's that simple to use. And again, this brake is lightweight. It weighs 6.2 pounds, so getting it in and out of the car is not a problem at all. Just make sure that you maintain it, you keep it in a dry place. It has super capacitors built into it so that if you would have an emergency breakaway situation happen with your vehicle, that brake will still operate. Just remember, recapping, that if you're getting that red and blue light solid on there, that means there's pressure against the brake pedal. And again, all you have to do is back the seat off here with the power seat button, or if it's manual, reach under and manually move it back until you get those flashing lights, then you're good to go. You're ready to operate that brake. Okay, so we've completed our towing. Now it's time to take the brake out and put it into storage. So it's really simple. We're gonna go ahead and unplug the breakaway switch from the top of the brake and tuck it back into its position. And then I'm gonna shut the power off on the brake, unplug it from its power source, and on this clamp, I will open it up. It's spring loaded, so it will hold itself open. I'm gonna move the seat back simultaneously, take the clamp off. I'll go ahead and hit the button on it and collapse it. And that's it, we're all ready to go. The brake will just go back into its box and into the storage compartment of your motorhome, and you're all set. All right, so now we're at the conclusion of this, and this is checking that our taillights are working. We discussed earlier that we have wiring kits to wire the vehicle to utilize taillights on the back of the towed vehicle. That's exactly what we're doing here. The technician has installed all that wiring. We're good to go. We have the cable, the electrical cable or umbilical cord connected between the coach and the tow vehicle. So now we're gonna do a light test on this, make sure that everything is functioning. We're gonna have tail lights, brake lights, and turn signals. So we'll start out with the tail lights. You can see that they are lit up. We're good to go there. Now we're gonna hit the brake lights on here. We're good to go there. And lastly, we're gonna hit the turn signals. That is gonna be our left and that is gonna be our right. So that shows you that we're utilizing the tail lights here instead of any other lighting method. Makes it easy, you plug it in. Make sure you do a light check before you flat tow and you're good to go, folks.
Thank you so much for joining us on this flat towing series. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. We have an awesome customer care team and we'd be more than happy to help.
We'll see you on the road.